All right, folks, I want to welcome our guests to the show. It is Brandon and Doug Hajicek. Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm glad to have you both here. So let's get right into it. We're here to talk about Squatch Con Idaho. We've talked about this before on the show, Brandon. Obviously, you were here a couple of weeks ago, and we made a couple of announcements, and we have a huge announcement to make today. So for those who might have missed that and don't know what we're talking about when we're talking about Squatch Con Idaho, why don't we start there, Brandon, and you tell us a little bit about what we're talking about and what people can expect when they get there.
Yeah, so first off, so it will be August 26th, Squashcon Idaho 2023 in Caldwell, Idaho. And what I want to do is I want to clarify some things just real quick is I've been getting a whole bunch of emails, a whole bunch of phone calls and text messages. Is this all online now? Like what happened? And no, it is not. And the commercial clearly states that it's both online and in person. And so we are catering to everybody. So if you can't make it in person, we totally understand. And we've got an awesome solution because of the help of Doug Hajicek and Brian. We are going to be able to do a live link where you can actually then watch it from the comfort of your own home. But we want you to be there. We'd love to have you there. So August 26th in Caldwell, Idaho at Indian Creek Plaza. And the big announcement that we have and what we have been talking about is the link for you to be able to watch it from the comfort of your own home on your couch, eating your potato chips, whatever you want to be doing, staying nice and cool because it's probably going to be a little warm, which is great. But we have an awesome opportunity where you can then download that link. And there's a lot of cool things that come with that Doug's going to actually share in that package that you're going to be getting when you purchase that link so you can watch it worldwide. You can watch it anywhere you want. So that is like the big announcement. And this is going to be the enhanced footage that Doug himself actually has done from the Paul Freeman footage when he discovered there was a baby Bigfoot on a big Bigfoot. And it's just mind blowing. The way that he did this, when he enhanced it and I saw it, it blew my mind. So you're not going to want to miss it.
Before we get into the online stuff, let's talk a little bit about what people can expect if they do come in person, if you're in Idaho or you can make the trip up there. Let's talk about what people are going to see and what's going to happen live and in person there.
Absolutely. So we have got an awesome little square that we're going to be. It's a little pavilion if you want. It's going to be the Indian Creek Plaza. We're going to have a splash pad, so it's going to be super friendly for kids. We decided after him and Han and discussing over and over with other people, we need to have the splash pad because it's going to be warm and the kids need to have something to keep themselves entertained, right? So the splash pad will be turned off when we have our speakers, our celebrities going to be up there speaking. And the celebrities that we have coming is Barackman, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Brian King-Sharp himself, and Michael Freeman. So when they're up on the stage, we'll turn that off, and then they're going to do an hour-and-a-half presentation of the enhanced footage and kind of give their 2 cents on it, if you will, kind of just talk about that, enlighten us with what they saw and how true this really is going to be. So we're going to have, right now we've got 12 to 15 vendors. We're going to have the opportunity that you can go on and actually get your photos taken with these celebrities. You can buy Footcast from Michael Freeman and Dr. Meldrum. And you can also get some really, really cool memorabilia from Cliff Barackman's collection and from his museum. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of little shops in that little square. So we've got a whole bunch of food, ice cream, coffee, you name it. There's a lot of cool things that it's going to be a really great family event. So you're not going to want to miss it.
It sounds awesome. I can't wait to be there. I'm really excited about it. So let's shift to Doug and talk a little bit about maybe people aren't even familiar with the Freeman footage. So let's kind of start there, Doug. Talk about how you got involved in that. And then we'll move into this link that we've been talking about and how that's going to work and some of the things that people can expect when they get that.
Sure. First thing, hang on a second. I'm going to drink water, Brian. We are literally, I can see the smoke in my studio. It's that bad from these Canadian fires. I woke up literally coughing today. Okay. First off, this will probably be, as far as I know, the first virtual Bigfoot conference in the world. It's kind of a big deal. Along with that, if you do decide to go virtual with it, and I can't imagine why not, there are 3 or 4 packages now, and I believe the lowest one is below $20, and they go all the way up, and depending on what things you're going to get. But things like getting a free copy of the Freeman File book, which also will have the footage. You'll have your own copy of all of Paul's audio diary. You'll have the actual Freeman footage, the baby lift. You'll basically get everything that you would get in a regular hardcover book in an ebook. And then there's a coloring book for your kids or for you. I know Brian will work on it. And then there's a trivia, Bigfoot trivia pamphlet. Then there is the field guide that Brandon created that you're going to get. So you're going to get a bunch of things. And there's other things too, but I don't want to give it all away. You have to go online to look at everything. But basically, I got involved in the Freeman footage way back in the 90s. And basically, Matt Moneymaker called me up and said, I was a field investigator with the BFRO. And he calls me up because I had a lot of equipment where I could analyze footage and, edit it and blow it up and zoom it and stabilize it. So Matt calls me up and I get this footage. And my first impression, wasn't all that great. Part of it is out in the open. There were no red flags, but it was just footage that wasn't as good as the Patterson footage in my estimation. However, later on, after working on this for a number of days, I thought there were many things that were very different than the Patterson footage. Very impressive. I started digging into this one part of it where Paul goes, "Oh, there's more than one of them." And I couldn't see more than one of them. And he was actually looking with his eyes in these shadows at a number of adults, but I couldn't see them. So I started digging into the blacks, with the contrast, doing what I call a FREL, forward, reverse, enhanced loop. And all of a sudden, I noticed what looked like little legs. And then I could see the lift. And then I could see the little head and then the timing. And I remember running upstairs and grabbing my toddler to see how she would respond when I lifted her. And the first thing she did was wrap her legs around the same way. And I was just like freaking out. And so I called Paul when I was really sure what I was looking at. And he was like, "What are you talking about?" He had no idea. And when he finally got to see it, he was literally in tears.
Wow.
And this is just all the things that can happen with poor eyesight, crappy video cameras back in the day. I mean, they're crappy now. They're crappy. They were crappy then. And the shadowing, that really can block a lot of what we can see. And so basically, I unveiled the secret. And then my son Blaine and I worked on getting more forensic modern enhancement software. We actually got it from the government and enhanced it further. But keep in mind, if you have something that's a little grainy and a little blurry or a little pixely, you can't get rid of all of the artifacts. But what you can see is this infant being lifted clear as day. I mean, there's no other explanation for it. And it's really quite historic. The other thing that made sense to me is that you see the Patterson footage, where Patty's got breasts. Why did Patty go out in the open? Why did the Freeman creature go out in the open? Because it went out in full sun. It could have just turned around and went right in the woods. I believe, one of the theories is that it acted like a decoy to lead Paul away from the infant. And Patty also, I believe, did the same with Roger and Bob. I think there was a juvenile somewhere hidden, and it just went the opposite direction. Otherwise, why wouldn't Patty walked right into the forest? So the correlation between the two pieces of footage is really amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I've seen it, when I had Michael on the show, it's something he sent to me.
Yeah.
And I was amazed by it. And for the people who have seen, I think the Freeman footage was originally done in 1992. So you think
Right.
back to 1992 video technology.
Right.
There's a lot of artifacts. There's a lot of pixelation. There's a lot going on in these videos, and it is very tough to see.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with it when I first saw the footage. I was like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a nothing burger to me. It could be, could not be. But once I had Michael on and I saw that footage that we're talking about, it completely changed my mind, and I was completely on board with it being 100% authentic. And the lift is there. I mean, it's like you said, there's nothing else it could be.
One thing I was going to mention, Brian, do you remember seeing the distended stomach in the footage? The creature's got just like a pot belly. And when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, this is a big male, an old male. It's got a pot belly, just like humans get. But then when I saw the baby, I went, oh, postpartum. And everything just kind of fit into place. I love it when you can really work on forensics. And instead of red flags going up, the red flags, not only do they come down, but the dots for authentic, for being authentic, keep connecting and keep connecting even years later. That's what I love. So it just goes on and on and on, where the Freeman footage has just been more and more authenticated, and I believe it'll continue. So that's it in a nutshell, without getting into a lot of minutia.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you can take a piece of footage like that's so historic as far as the Bigfoot community. Most people are familiar with the Freeman footage. If you say it, they know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the PG film. It's all about the Freeman footage. So to have something like this, and it really is historic for people to be able to be a part of that virtually, if they can't make it in person, obviously, it's something I can't believe that more people aren't talking about it, to be honest with you. When I've mentioned it to people I've had on the show recently, they're like, oh my God, like, why are millions of people not online? And this is like the biggest thing in Bigfoot right now. And I honestly am scratching my head too. So
it really should be, because it really, it's another piece of footage that almost verifies the species.
Yeah. Well, I will attest to that, Brian. I had no idea that this thing existed until you brought it up. And then I went on and I Googled it and I found it on YouTube, not the enhanced, obviously. And it, like you said, it wasn't really impressive, really, really pixelated. It was old footage. I mean, it was old, VHS at that time. And
it was I don't mean to correct you, Brian. It was 8mm.
8mm. There you go. Yeah. By all means, correct me.
Or video. 8mm video. Sorry.
8mm. Yeah, but you could tell that was the best that he had. That was what it was back then.
Yeah.
And then when Michael sent me the footage, because I'm going to tell you right now, this was all Brian's idea, and I just was like, well, why don't we just get everybody together? We're all going to be there, and you're having a hard time trying to get everyone there. Let's just do it. And so it kind of just blossomed from there. And then Michael sent me the footage. I put it on my big screen TV, my 83-inch TV, and I'm sitting there and I'm like literally just like this. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, that is a baby Bigfoot. Like, there's no questioning it. And then it's right when you enhanced it, right? And then you can see the leg and you can see the head, you can see the arm and a torso coming around just like a baby would. And I totally agree with you. Postpartum, it was just, it's a no-brainer. And so I think once we get this out and people can see it, because the only way that you're going to be able to see this, guys, is by you getting that link, and you have to go on and purchase the link. Yeah. You're going to be blown away. And here's another taking that I had is the Patty film. You had one Bigfoot that was walking away in the sun. Before you caught the baby Bigfoot with the other Bigfoot, there was that one that walked in front of the tree. And that was before he found the other ones. So it was a family, and they were there. And like what you just said, they were there giving the mom support as it was giving birth, is my guess.
You could be absolutely right. I mean, that thing could have been born just literally a minute before it was filmed by Paul. It's certainly very, very small. You can see how fragile the legs are. They're very skinny. but you can see it grab and, just wrap around the mother's waist, during the lift. That we'll never know, but what we will know is that is something somebody cannot fake.
No.
So if you cannot fake something, that means what's left is it's real. And if it's real, well, then Bigfoots are real. And so it's, it's significant. One thing I was going to mention, if they buy a pass for the virtual conference, that's going to help support Brandon and I. And then in the future, hopefully we can do more of these types of conferences. So that's why also another reason it's kind of important to support it. So we do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like we said, I don't think it's ever been done before, and I think it's very important to do what we're doing now and kind of explain it to people, because I've gotten the same thing you have, Brandon. Is this just an online conference? No, it's not. It is an in-person conference. The only thing that's different is because of the special nature of what we're doing with the footage and the roundtable that we're going to have about the footage is give the people the opportunity who can't be there or just don't want to deal with people. Some people are introverts, I say it all the time. Cliff has said it on my show. We're both kind of professional extroverts. Given to my own devices, I'll sit at home on my couch and watch something any day of the week and twice on Sunday, right? And there's a lot of people out there who are like that. And this gives everybody the opportunity. If you can't make the trip, you can still be a part of it. If you want to just sit at home and watch it in the comfort of your house, you can do that as well. And I think that's something that nobody has ever done. So I'm really excited about it. I want people to understand what it is. So if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to any of us. You get me at Brian@ParanormalWorldProductions.com. I always answer questions. I answer those emails. Danny will get them or I'll get them. It always comes directly to me eventually. So is there anything else we want to talk about, guys, before I definitely want to show the promo video. Doug put together an amazing sort of promo video for this that explains everything. It lets people know. I've had people, as soon as I started posting on social media, they were like, dude, that's amazing. That's an awesome trailer. It got me excited. I was interested in it automatically. It had me from the jump with the music. So kudos to you, Doug, as always, with the visuals. It's an awesome trailer. So.
Great. I mean, I share that with anybody and everybody I come in contact, and they're just blown away. And I said, this was Doug Hajicek. Like, if you know who he is, he knows what he's doing, and this is just awesome. So they're super just blown away with how great of a job you did, Doug. So thanks. Doug, I mean, correct me again if I'm wrong, but we have also talked about you trying your best to get a film crew for Legend Meets Science 2 to come on out.
Yep. Yeah, we're planning on being there. I personally am going to create a special video message that you guys can play at the conference about just a lot of little details. I will get into the minutia. At any point, you can whack me off at the conference if I get a little too long. But I'm going to be up in Ontario filming for Legend Meets Science. But we're trying to arrange part of our crew to be at the conference so we can film witnesses, interview, get interviews concerning the baby from Cliff, from Jeff, from Brian, from you, Brandon, and then interview a ton of witnesses that will be part of your audience. So, and maybe we can even film some of the conference, because this conference is part of the culture and it's part of the cultural change, using technology to get these conferences out to the whole world. It's kind of a big deal. Yeah. And I was going to mention one thing. If you go with the level, on the virtual level, where you get the Freeman ebook, you're going to get Paul's entire audio diary that he recorded over 10 years. And it's broken out into small sections. So when you read a page, you read a chapter, you're going to be able to hear part of his diary. And you're going to understand this guy was a really, really devoted researcher. I mean, he would go for weeks at a time. He would leave messages for his wife because he was going to be gone so long. This guy was no hoaxer. He wasn't the kind of guy that just went out and filmed a Bigfoot. I mean, he put the time in. And I was amazed by that. Was with Paul, this guy just lived in the forest. He was a real tracker, a real outdoorsman. And so Don't doubt his credentials. They were real.
Yeah, and if you haven't gotten the Michael Freeman's book, The Freeman Files, it, like Doug said, it is a part of the packages depending on what you choose. I highly suggest it. It's an awesome book, and you get all of that inside scoop. And obviously, Michael's going to be at the conference, and he can speak to his dad's character and all the things that like none of us really can. So I think it's time we play the trailer, guys. I think the trailer should be what takes us out. I'm gonna share the screen here and let everybody who's watching here on YouTube take a look at the trailer, and hopefully they'll be as excited about this as we are.
Are you ready to uncover the mysteries of Bigfoot? Join us for Squatch Con Idaho 2023. This year, we're bringing the magic directly to your screen, or join us in person. Witness the world premiere of the enhanced Paul Freeman Bigfoot footage. Doug Hajicek discovered a secret within this enhanced video you'll have to see to believe. Hear from an all-star panel of Bigfoot experts like Dr. Jeffery Meldrum, Barackman, Brian King-Sharp, and Michael Freeman. But that's not all. Get exclusive online bonuses such as Bigfoot-themed wallpapers, a Bigfoot coloring book, an interactive Bigfoot quiz, Squatch Nut Field Guide, get a copy of the Freeman Bigfoot Files ebook, and more. Whether you attend in person or watch it live online, you'll be part of an unforgettable experience. Don't miss out on this unique opportunity. Secure your spot today. Squatch Con Idaho 2023. Step into the unknown.